Now, in my life and the life of my lovely wife, Beth, uh, we had a call in our lives to be missionaries. Your call probably is a different one. Maybe it's a pastor, maybe it's a teacher, maybe it's a lawyer, maybe many different things. All of them, though, the same principle. But for us, it was to be a missionary or missionaries. And we had a call to a particular country, the country of the Congo. And after we knew God wanted us to go there, and it was confirmed by friends, by leaders, even prophetically, we spent another 5 years getting ready through schooling and raising support and ministry preparation. And finally, we were able to get there. And we were so happy when we arrived in that country. And then in the country for 2 more years, we were preparing ourselves for what God had for us. We were learning the language better, and we were learning the culture, and I pastored a church, and we were within 3 weeks of being sent by our mission to the interior. And in the interior, there's a group of 600 pastors and churches who had never been trained in the Word of God, never gone to Bible school, just waiting for us to come and start a school and begin training and teaching them. And that was our passion, and we were very excited about it. Well, as I said, within 3 weeks of getting ready to go there, a political situation took place in the country, and the next thing we knew, many missionaries, including ourselves, had to leave the country, and we had to go back to the United States. But we weren't ready to give up, and so we went back to a different country in Africa, to Tanzania, and we began working there, and we worked there for quite a number of years. But we looked for an opportunity to work back into the Congo, and the opportunity came. And I met with leaders there, and I actually got to the point where I was able to get a piece of land and buy materials to build a building and find teachers and get all the resources and books together. And we had a date set to have hundreds of pastors come from all around the country to attend that school as we kicked it off and as we started it. And then there's a civil war. And during that civil war, all those materials for building, all those materials for teaching, they were all stolen and lost. That was very, very hard for us. Well, a little bit later, we went back to the United States on furlough, and while we were there, our mission said to us, things have changed in the Congo. We think that if you go there now, you'll be able to work with that group of churches, those 3,000 churches that need a Bible school and need training and teaching. And so we want you to try going back there one more time. And so we were able to, again, go back there finally. And we began working with the leadership, trying to get a Bible school going, and we were making progress in it, and it had just started, but there was so much more to do. And we had been there just 5 months when we woke up on a Sunday morning to the sound of gunfire and mortar fire and war around us, and found out that again a civil war had started in the country. In fact, within less than a mile of our own home. And the next thing we knew, myself, my wife, and our 3 children, allowed only one carry-on suitcase apiece, were on a plane, headed out of the country, losing all the stuff that we had, leaving it behind, but more importantly to us, leaving behind our ministry, our call, the thing that we thought God wanted us to do. And I want you to know it was an emotionally devastating time. In fact, I could compare it to when you're driving your car down the highway and you're going 60 miles an hour and a bug goes by and it hit it with your windshield and the guts just splatter all over the windshield. That I felt like that bug. I felt like all my spiritual guts, all my hopes and dreams and desires were just splattered on a windshield. And that was the end. It was finished. There was no going forward. And I want to tell you that's not where the story ends. I'm going to come back to it. But persevering will put you in the center of God's will. Persevering will put you right in the center of God's will. Our failure in our own lives, that failure to be able to start the school in the Congo and do the things we were trying to do there, that failure created in us a desire to find a tool that could be used even if missionaries weren't there, even if Bible school teachers weren't there. And so we began looking for a tool like that and thinking about creating something. And our years in different countries that we went to after we left there, that we never planned on going to, taught us new languages and new cultures and gave us contacts with many national leaders and missionaries. And then the years in ministry in all these places gave us credibility and maturity and experience and knowledge we wouldn't have had otherwise if we had just stayed in one place. Well, what was the result? The result was that instead of just having one good school in the interior of the Congo, by the grace of God, we came across a tool for starting ministry schools in local churches using a digital form and on DVD and later other different kinds of digital form. And as a result, we have started hundreds and hundreds of schools all over the world in many languages and many cultures. In fact, we lost track around 1,500 schools. And today, we have an international university that's being used by countries all over the world. And we have local ministry schools in many different countries, and we are getting hundreds and thousands of students in our schools. Why? How did it happen? Well, it's because we persevered through very difficult times instead of giving up, because God helped us and strengthened us and put that faith in us so that we could move forward in those things.